All right, so the idea for our project was to talk about rhetoric in terms of social networking. And one aspect of that we thought was really interesting was thinking about it in the narrative perspective. Just because of the way social networking is kind of set up, we feel like it um, not only is narrative perspective a great way to look at rhetorical situations in a social networking context, but social networking sites almost encourage this sort of perspective. Um,
Okay, so the way that narrative perspective works in this situation is that Manfred makes several posts that his boss stumbles upon, and his boss takes it upon himself to analyze these several different posts in order to create a narrative perspective by putting together those events and creating a timeline based on those posts that lead his boss into a conclusion that Manfred's posts affect the company. So it leads his boss to fire Manfred based on just simply the posts that he analyzed on this public profile. So the way that kind of we see that works in real life to begin with is that Facebook kind of is set up in a way for posts to be interpreted in a narrative perspective, in the sense that narrative perspective is just about putting together events in order to interpret our world through storytelling. And what happens in the case of Manfred is something that occurs in real life. Maybe not to the extreme where someone is getting fired, but still affects an individual.
yeah, basically, we think that what's the social networking context does, it kind of takes advantage of what the book calls as human beings' innate nature to sort of put things together as stories. So, for example, on the Facebook page, I play the part of Manfred's drinking buddy, and on a Monday, he and I went out to go to a bar, and it turns out that on Tuesday, Manfred called in sick to work. Um, you know, given the information the boss had at the time, uh, all he could do was take it at face value. Manfred, he hasn't been doing, he hasn't been doing anything bad, or he's been performing pretty regularly lately. So he's probably just sick. So he didn't really think about it. After the boss decided to make it a point to monitor all his employees' Facebook accounts, he stumbled upon the message about us going out drinking on Monday. He put two and two together, and he realized that Manfred was lying about being sick on Tuesday, and he, he was actually just hungover and didn't feel like going to work.
Right. So in essence, like the whole premise of social networking and how narrative perspective can be viewed in it, or how it's affected, is that in social networking, um, pretty much sets up an archive of narrative, right?
Yeah, it's like kind of like that trail we talked about in class. How now everything we do on the internet's there permanently, almost in some sort of way, whether it's data you can see or whether it's data you really can't see. If you try hard enough, and if you know how to do it, if you're savvy enough, there's a way to find the information that you're looking for. So basically, all our narratives are being archived. From this fictional one that we created with Manfred to all of our real ones. In real life. And it seems like the way the internet works now, that it's there permanently. And these narratives are like Stephanie said, being archived.
Yep.